and good evening. Welcome to Tottenham Gold, the guardians of Tottenham history. And tonight we're having a debate that's lasts the length of generations. It's baffled scientists. It's baffled everyone who loves football. Who was better, Pele or Maradona? Now, in my view, it was Maradona all day long. Grew up with him, watched him playing for Napoli, but I know my four colleagues on me who joined me on this show tonight have different values. Um, I don't think Izhan was around when Maradona was playing, so this is all new for Izhan. Mark down below, he's got a different view, and Ellie, well, she just supports the Irish, so there's no question there. So joining me tonight is the man, my co-host here, Izhan. How are you this evening? Well, morning for you, isn't it, Izhan in
Yeah.
Canada? How are you this morning, sir?
Doing well. I'm really excited to be on. I think it's going to be a really fun discussion.
Yeah, and also I want to thank you for all the you did all the stats work and everything for this show. So thank you very much for all of that. Is an absolutely fantastic. Down below me is my second co-host. We're not going to agree, Mark. Let's just get it straight here.
No.
We're not going to agree.
No, we're not.
We're going to butt heads on this.
Yes.
But how are you anyway, sir? And how was your day?
I'm very well. I am very well. May I just say, I'm absolutely devastated last week when Bobsborough had my hero on, and I was at work. I left work. I left work, and I had Brian Daigle message me, Kuva message me, Ellie message me, Ellie phoned me. Ellie phoned me.
I did. I had to phone you, Mark.
Oh, get your ass over to Bobsborough. Your hero's on. I was like, well, I watched it when I got home though. But if I wasn't at work, I'd have sneaked on there somehow.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me.
You
and
would
down
have.
below, Mark, well, this woman needs no introduction. She's joining us for next season to cover us all the ladies' side of the football team, the Lady Spurs. She'll be coming on every week, giving us an update, and also joining us for these streams where we do sort of out of the ordinary stuff that nobody else does. This is how this channel rolls. We rock and roll on here, and it's Queen Ellie Holberg. How are you? How are you?
Yeah, I'm brilliant, Dermot, and what a fantastic intro! Brilliant. Whoever done that is a genius. That's
Well,
what
I will
say.
tell you now who done that, and this man is a lifesaver. It's Lazy Eight. It's Nick from who does all the work for the Irish Hotspur, Dave and Jack. That man is a genius. He really is a full-blown genius, and I can't thank him enough for all the work he does for my channel, the intro, the thumbnails. He does everything for me, and he's such a lovely man as well. So thank you very much, Nick, for doing that for us. Right, shall we crack on and we'll get on with this show?
Yes.
Right. Over the years,
World Cup cooking.
You've had great players like Gary Lineker for England, goal scoring. You've had Lothar Matthäus for Germany. But the two players that rise above them all is the South American players. Now you can go through the list, then you can go through Zico, Jairzinho, you can go through Carlos Alberto, the captain of the 70 winning side. You can go through Socrates, Rivellino as well. What a left foot he had. I mean, he had
oh my God.
Yeah.
But there was two players that rose to the top, and these two are arch rivals. Pele from Brazil, Diego Armando Maradona from Argentina. Now we're going to start with Pele, but quickly, Mark, you're a Pele fan.
Of course.
You've got 2 minutes, right, of why is Pele the greatest South American World Cup player in the world ever?
Well, for a start, no. You didn't give me any preparation for this. Like, for a start, I would say Pele he's the most famous player in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. And secondly, he never cheated my country in the World Cup. Just get that in there. And all right, football wasn't as all right. He never had the coverage that probably Maradona did. You know, you got to sort of search for his highlights and all that, because back in the 80s and 90s, football was a bit more available. You know, with the satellites and whatever. But to me, you know, I mean, I knew Pele when I was like 2-year-old. You know, he's one of the first footballers. Well, apart from Glenn Hoddle, obviously,
Mm.
but he's one of the first. He's one of the first footballers you sort of learn. Oh, that's Pele. You know, you still see him now, and you think, oh, that's Pele. You know, he's recognised. He's a bit like Tiger Woods is to golf. You know, wherever he goes, people know who he is.
Yeah. So
You know,
you would class him as the world's greatest South American player to come out of South America ever.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. It's certainly not Maradona.
Okay. Ellie, you're going to be on the Maradona side of it then.
I am indeed.
Why should Maradona be the greatest ever South American World Cup player to come out of South America?
Well, first of all, he came from a very, very poor background. He didn't even have the money to buy a football or football boots, you know, and he was playing in the streets, Dermot. He was playing with a golf ball and a tennis ball because he couldn't afford. And that all that early doors trickery that he learned with those small balls, when he came to play with the football, it was like second nature to him. And you see him warm up. Technically the best ever footballer that I've ever seen. He scored the most brilliant goals. He was stocky, strong. Technically, I'm telling you, I've never seen another. The nearest player to him, technically, in my book, is Glenn Hoddle and Gaza. Because even George Best wasn't even that technically gifted.
I would
Right,
disagree
and-
with you there, Ellie.
Not Messi.
I would
George Best
disagree
was
with you
a
there.
fantastic player, but he couldn't do what Maradona did.
Yeah,
he
but
was the
George
most
Best could handle his drink.
Beautiful footballer as well.
Yeah, well,
And another thing about Maradona, what I'd like to say,
Mm.
he was a very humble man, very humble. He came from humble surroundings and he gave back to the community
Mhm.
and he just captured the nation and he captured the world. Everybody wanted to know Maradona.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be him, you know, because he was a miracle worker on the pitch. You couldn't stop him. He'd just weave in and out and beat you with pace, skill, and he scored the most brilliant goals. That's why I'm saying he's better than Pele.
Wow. I mean, two brilliant, you know, Pele's side, Maradona's side. The George Best, for me, Ellie, I disagree with you. George Best is the other man that could drink Monday to Friday, pick up Miss World on a Wednesday, have a bottle of champagne on a Thursday, turn up to training on a Friday, and score 6 goals on the Saturday. I mean, he's the only player that could do that. Right, Izhan, you've heard the arguments for Pele, you've heard the arguments for Maradona. You've got the stats. Let's bring them up. We start with Pele first, aren't we?
Mhm.
And where do you sit on the argument, Pele or Maradona, before bringing the stats up? Where would you?
Yeah, I agree with Mark here. I think I'm gonna have to go with Pele, to be honest. If you look at the numbers, it's just like there's no one that comes close to his level of dominance of the sport and sort of what he did for the sport. I mean, he tore down a lot of racial barriers in Brazil. People with darker skin, I mean, even to this day in Brazil, are often discriminated against. Many people say he's the first dark-skinned sporting superstar, which I think is an insurmountable legacy that he
That
had.
or Muhammad Ali, I would say. That or Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And another thing, he's the youngest ever goal scorer in World Cup history. He has the most World Cup wins ever. Most goals, second most goals in World Cups, most assists in World Cups. I mean, this guy made Beckenbauer look like a buffoon. He was simply unplayable and unstoppable. The numbers.
No handballs either. There was no handballs in that either.
Oh yeah.
Let's get that
We
in
will
there.
get to that, Mark. I just want to quickly welcome in Wilton MacDonald. He says, "Good afternoon. All looking forward to hearing what the panel has to say. Thank you." And Eugene's in as well. Big up Eugene. And everyone, please get over to
All right,
Eugene's channel
Eugene.
and like and
Yes.
subscribe it. Can anyone hear any noises before we crack into this? Because The fans is worrying a little bit about. Is it coming through? Everything fine? No noise?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's not too bad.
No.
All right. Okay.
Quite clear.
Izhan, do you want to bring up the first stats for us?
Which
Pele,
stats?
we'll start with Pele first.
Okay. Let me.
And then you can go through them and then we can have a discussion then on from
Okay.
each points of his career.
Okay. So this is for these are their international stats. So
Mhm.
Pele, 92 international caps.
Have you brought them up here? You going to share it?
You want like I have it like in a doc if you want that.
Yeah, if you can bring it up. Yeah.
Like, okay, give me a sec.
While you're doing that, Mark, why are you so against Maradona? Is
'Cause
it
he's a
just
chick.
because of is it just because of 86 or is it because you didn't like him? I mean, he did play for Tottenham in one game before that. He is sort of a Tottenham legend. A little
Well,
bit.
hang on. He played in one game that was a friendly.
Yeah, but why do you is it because of 86 because of
Yes.
the handball?
Yes.
Just because of that?
Yes. It's the same reason you don't like Thierry Henry.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
played for
he
Arsenal,
did.
so I never liked him anyway.
Well, nor did I. Well, nor did I.
Yeah.
But when Maradona does that to your country, all right, the second goal, you can't take that away from him. That was world class, even though he should have been hacked down long before he did what he did. But the thing you've got to remember as well, that was 1986. It was only 4 years after the Falklands. And there was still a little bit of bad blood, really.
Yeah.
You know, even though I wasn't in it or nothing, but you know, it was sort of it was a real grudge match at the time because sort of 4 years earlier we'd been in blooming war with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
but I mean, was it really handball, Mark? I mean, did he? Did it come off the top of his head, or was it really handball? I mean, would VAR clear it up now?
Well, it would have been disallowed, wouldn't it? It would have been disallowed.
I think
Jesus
the linesman
Christ.
bottled it. Personally, I
The
think
man's
the
not a
linesman.
giraffe. Unless you had a neck like a giraffe, you know, there was no way that was a header. The man was only 4 foot nothing anyway, and he jumped about 7 foot in the air.
Yeah, Harlem Globetrotters there.
Yeah.
He should have been playing
Jesus.
for basketball.
You know, all right. His second goal, you can't take that. You can't take nothing away from that. That was.
But the second goal, technically, there should have been a foul in the centre circle against Glenn Hoddle. Because Glenn Hoddle was fouled just before that goal.
Well, that's more cheating, then. That's more cheating.
Oh, jeez, just giving you plenty of ammunition.
Yeah.
Right, we will get back to that.
Yes.
Go on, Izhan. Do you want to take us through the stats here, what you've done for Pele?
Yeah, so here we can see their international stats for their countries. I felt it wasn't fair to compare their club stats. Pele played in Brazil his entire career. Another thing, a lot of his goals were unaccounted for. The record keeping wasn't that good back then. So, and there's like not much video footage, so it's not like you can go over and see. So, include their international stats. So, 92 international caps for Pele, 77 goals. I mean, unbelievable record. 4 World Cup tournament appearances, 14 World Cup games he's played, 12 World Cup goals, just 5th highest ever. Maradona, 91 international caps, 34 international goals. It's Argentina's 5th highest scorer. He's also played in 4 World Cups. He's played 21 World Cup games. He's scored 8 goals.
There should be 7, really. It should be 7.
Yes.
You're chalking off the handball.
And
Mark.
he nearly played. I read this the other day. He nearly got selected for the 78 World Cup Argentinian when they won the World Cup in 78.
Yeah.
The manager did not pick him because he felt he was too young. He would have been the youngest ever. He would have beaten Pele's record at the time.
Yeah, and he would have played with Ozzy and Ricky as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Izhan, you've done the stats for Pele and Maradona. I know it's different times for Pele in the 50s and 60s and early 70s, and then you had Maradona in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Do you feel Pele could still done the same if he was playing in the same era as Maradona? Or do you think Maradona would have been better if he played in Pele's era?
Look, I think I think you can't look down at certain eras of
Mm,
football and say that the competition was lower or whatnot. It's because those were the best players of that respective
mm,
time. Like you had to sort of work with what you got. You
Yeah.
can only play what's in front of you, right? But Pele was so good. I mean, this guy got his professional contract, first team contract at 15 years old. And another thing at the time, in the Brazilian league at the time was one of the top leagues in the world. The Brazilian national team was the strongest in
Yeah,
the world, and
yeah,
the majority of the players in the Brazilian national team did play in the Brazilian league. So it's not like he was coming up against, like schoolboys in his backyard, like how some people like to say online. So with Pele, I think that he would definitely, no matter what era you put him in, he would perform. I mean, there were stories that he was so good with both feet that uh, some like defenders think he's left-footed. He was just that good. He was simply incredible, basically unstoppable. I mean, you can see here
mm.
77 goals in 92 international appearances. It's a very impressive record.
Mm.
It really is. Mark,
Yeah.
I'll start with you, Ellie, actually, because I'll go on the Maradona side of it. Diego Maradona
Yes.
started in the '80 World Cup. Basically, got kicked out of the tournament because he was just better than
Yeah.
anyone else at that time. But left Argentina, played in Europe. Does that why you picked Maradona, because he took his talent and tried it at the very best?
Yeah. And
Like
when
he
when
started with Spain and then he went from Barcelona to Napoli. Do you think if
yeah,
Pele had done that, you think you would have picked Pele over Maradona?
probably yes. Because when you play in the Spanish league, that is a very tough league. And also he went to Italy, which is a technically fantastic league. All the players are technically gifted. And they didn't play on the greatest pitches either.
Mm,
Right. So when he went to Napoli, he was hailed as a god. They had like statues of him. They had banners. They like welcomed him like he was a god, and he was a footballing god, right? And he captured the hearts of all those people in Napoli because they had them. I don't even think they'd won the league before he went there. To my knowledge, they hadn't won the league, and he single-handedly, more or less, won them the league.
mm,
Yeah, and it was an incredible footballer. I'm not really a stickler for stats. I like to do the eye test, and I'm looking at Pele, and I'm comparing him to the technical ability of Maradona. He might not have scored as many goals as Pele. He might not have won as many World Cup medals as Pele. But if he had the same status and he was playing for Brazil, he would have done even better than Pele, I think. But he's coming from they're both poor countries, but he's coming from a very, very poor background, and he's gone to the echelons of football, right to the top. And everybody knows Maradona. When he passed away very sadly, God took him away from us at 60 years old. That's my age. That's so sad,
I
and
think technically, I think there was more to. I think they are looking into it actually,
technically,
allegedly.
you know what?
Mm,
He was the most technically gifted footballer that I've ever seen. Not just from the playing side, when he was warming up. I mean, you've got the videos to prove it.
mm,
I watched them all the time. He was fantastic playing with a golf ball and keeping a golf ball up. And you know how heavy a golf ball is,
mm.
and it's all jagged, isn't it? It's not it's quite a bumpy thing, and he's keeping it up, putting it on his head, on his shoulder. It's an amazing skill. That's what I do, the eye test, when I judge a player.
It really is,
No.
Ellie. Mark, we've all seen Pele, the Brazilian side, the great sides of 58, 62, especially that 70s side. I mean, that side had Jairzinho in it.
Yeah.
It had Carlos Alberto, Felix, the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You had Riverino on the left side. You had a few names escape me now. I've been watching a lot of Pele and Maradona building up to the show on YouTube, and you watch the Brazilians of the 70s and then the 82 Brazilian side and the 86. They have something magical about them, don't they? It's something it's like watching wizards playing football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel Pele, as good as he was, I mean, the stats say it there, what Izhan said, what was it? Izhan, 92 appearances, 77 goals in his international career. Why did he not go to Europe and play his trade in Europe?
Well, there's an actual reason behind that.
Oh, okay, Izhan, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so basically after the 1958 World Cup, where Pele was 17, I believe, all of Europe's top clubs wanted him. He had offers from Real Madrid, Inter Milan, Manchester United, I believe Juventus as well. But there was such a huge outcry from Santos supporters. They threatened to burn the stadium and the training ground to the ground if he was ever sold. And the president of Brazil at the time, after that, named Pele a national treasure so that he would never be sold to any country, any foreign country. So he had to stay in Brazil. And that's 100% legitimate. Brazil president Janio Quadros declared Pele an official national treasure to prevent him from being transferred out of the country.
Yes.
That is the reason why he never played in Europe.
That's exactly what I was going to say. No, it wasn't. No, but
really,
I heard Maradona was he was a national hero in Colombia.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
Allegedly.
Yeah. They stick together, the South Americans, you see.
No.
I know where Mark's trying to drag us down, but Mark, we're not going down that rabbit hole.
No,
we might do it later. Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah. He loved
I get the drift now.
I think what Mark's trying to say, he loved the Colombian coffee. That's what Mark's trying to say. He liked a bit of coffee in the morning before he went to play football.
Yes.
Izhan, you've grown up with Ronaldo and Messi, watching them. Do you feel they're on the same level as Pele and Maradona, or do you feel they haven't even reached their greatness? Or is it different eras and you can't judge their era to Ronaldo and Messi's era?
I mean, you can compare. I think that their club careers have been more successful than both Maradona and Pele, I'd say. I think obviously their international careers are far behind Pele and Maradona's. I mean, especially Pele. I don't think anyone has had a more illustrious national career than Pele. But yeah, I think they are like comparable. Like you could definitely say that they were on their level. I mean, Pele and Maradona won the FIFA Footballer of the Century award. The award was shared between them, and I think Messi and Ronaldo will win the next Footballer of the Century award. The way things are going.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if me and Mark may not be around for that one.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not. Ellie might be. Izhan definitely will be. But me and Mark might be gone before then. Right. Let's now turn our attentions down to Maradona and the World Cups that we can all remember, the three of us. Izhan through YouTube and the magical videos, 82 comes, Mark, gets kicked out the World Cup. Goes, then joins from Barcelona, then goes to Napoli, then for 86 in Mexico. I mean, for me personally, I grew up watching Maradona, wanted to be him in the playground. I was Maradona. I actually did own an Argentinian shirt
So did I.
with number 10 on the back as a kid.
Yeah.
Hey, how do we get Dermot off of this stream now?
And cheered when he scored them 2 goals against England. I don't know if the first one was handball or not, but the question, put that aside, Mark, right? Put that aside. He technically brought a team that wasn't technically that good to World Cup triumph. Did that prove to you that he was at that time the best player in the world? Put aside your Englishness and the England.
Yes.
What England?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it to the side.
Look at it like from a normal football fan. Did he carry that Argentinian side wasn't the best in the world at the best at the World Cup. There was better teams like Belgium, Poland, Denmark as well, another great side. I hate to say England did have a chance to win that World Cup if they had beaten Argentina.
Before we were cheated, let's get this straight.
Yeah, forget that, Mark. Yes. Yeah, you weren't cheated. He scored the first one with his head, and he scored a brilliant goal in the second one. So you weren't cheated. Get over it, right? Right. Do you think he was the greatest player on the planet during that World Cup for what he did?
He was at one stage. Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
Mark's saying that through gritted teeth. I know he is.
Yeah.
He is. Is somebody squeezing you?
Yeah. As Dermot, he's got me in like the Jedi thing.
It might be Maradona's ghost.
Yeah. More than likely.
We're going to Izhan. Izhan, same question to you. 86, was Maradona possibly the greatest player in the world for what he did, for bringing a nation that wasn't technically that good, had some good players in it, but wasn't technically the best in the world at that time? Do you think it was a massive achievement that he could not only lift a team, but it's been said he lifted an entire nation and dragged them all the way to that triumph? Do you think that was a big accomplishment for him as a player?
I mean, it was a massive accomplishment, winning the World Cup as a captain. I mean, he did score with his hand. But,
yes, thank you.
But
I never saw it.
No, I know you didn't.
But yeah, look. In the end, he dragged his team all the way. Almost like Ronaldo dragging his team to a Euros win. But yeah, it was like at the time there was no doubt that Maradona was the best player in the world. Because the impact that one player had was just so insane. I mean, we even saw that at Napoli, where he himself dragged them to a league title, and that's what made him so special. How just one guy could carry an entire team and have such a massive impact. When usually in football, one player isn't enough to completely change tides. But with Maradona, he just needed the ball at his feet, and he could basically do anything he wanted.
Yeah, Mark, I'll put you in the good mood now. Pele, did he did the same thing for Brazil? Did he like that Maradona did for Argentina, or was there more better players in that Brazilian 70 side? Say
that is exactly what I was going to say. Now you got to remember the 1970. No, I wasn't born when the 19. Well, I was just about to be born when the 1970 World Cup was on, and so I've seen the videos. I've seen it all. That Brazil team of 1970. That's the best ever. I don't care what anybody says. That is the best ever team.
Fabulous team.
Yeah, especially
better than the 82 side.
Yes.
Yeah. Just for what they done in the final against Italy. That goal, the famous goal where he shoots it across the. I forget. I can't remember who it is.
Pele to Carlos Alberto.
Yeah. Yeah, he just stands there, doesn't he, and just taps it to him. And he bangs it straight across the keeper.
I think the highlight from that World Cup for me, and I've seen videos of it, is Gordon Banks' save against Pele's header.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And is it Pele that nearly scores from the halfway line?
Yeah.
When he tries to lob the keeper?
Yeah.
Yes, unbelievable team. But you got to
David Bentley.
Yeah, it wasn't just Pele though. It wasn't just Pele in that team. They had the best team in the world by miles.
You had Jarzinho, I think it's still a record, to score in every round of the World Cup that year.
Yeah.
I mean, Alexander Hilton here, he does come out with some crackers, I have to say. Alex, don't ever change because we just like you the way you are. He says, Pele, I'm going to put this to Izhan now. Izhan, this is your response now to Alexander Hilton here. He says, Pele added fake goals to his total whenever someone breaks his record. So he's a fraud to me. What do you say to Alex? And then I'll go to Mark then.
Well, I mean, it wasn't him that was adding goals to his tally. It was Santos, the club. And look, it's not his fault that they didn't have everything videoed back then, and the record keeping wasn't that good. It's not him that's responsible for that. He's not a fraud at all. I mean, you can see what people have said who played against him. I mean, the players like Beckenbauer and whatnot. They know that he's the best of all time. So to say he's a fraud, I don't think that's the case.
And he adds to that, Izhan and Mark saying he paid Santos to increase his goal tally then. Allegedly. Now, allegedly. We don't want to get Santos
below the belt
suing this channel for false reporting. So we'll leave that there.
I heard he'd scored 1,000 goals, but Ellie said 1,200 and something.
1,263 according to the stats.
Yeah.
Is that Wikipedia?
1,281 in 1,363 games, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just genius in itself.
Genius in itself.
It really is.
Yeah,
but goal scoring is goal scoring is an art and it's a skill. But what Maradona done was better than that. That's in my opinion, and he's more exciting to the eye.
Shall we bring Alexander Hilton on in this? Send him a link and bring him on and see what he has to say.
He would just say steak. He would just say steak.
Who would you say is the better footballer, Gaza or Kane?
Footballer.
Yeah. Pure football.
It's got to be Gaza. It's got to be.
You see, and he didn't score as many goals as Kane.
No.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not all about the goal scoring. It's about who excites you as a player.
Yeah.
I mean, Alexander Hilton's also playing. I think he's taking too many magic whatever now. So he says, so I can pay Tottenham to increase the goal total of Harry Winks to have 1,000 career goals. Harry Winks can't even score one goal, not less 1,000.
He
scored a brilliant goal from the halfway line against.
He scored a free kick this season.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about
fluke,
Harry Winks.
Don't matter.
Oh my good lord.
I mean, we shouldn't bring up a god like Harry Winks in front of like scrubs like Pele.
Yeah.
I know. I
mean,
Harry Winks. I mean, in the same breath as Pele and Maradona. Yeah, Alexander, just drink whatever you're drinking, and you're doing.
I'll give him 10 out of 10 for his looks, but
what,
1 out
Harry
of 10
Winks?
for his football. Yeah, for his looks as a woman, he's a very cute boy. But
the stream's going in the weird direction. It started off brilliantly, now it's sort of taking a curveball. Right, Mark, get back to the question. Pele, 70 side.
Yes.
Did he do the same thing as Maradona did in 86, or was it a genuine whole team performance?
It was the team, right? Yeah. Pele did a lot. From what I've seen of it, I've only watched like YouTube, and Pele did a lot, but you got to remember the rest of the team was brilliant as well. They were all brilliant.
Fabulous.
You know, it's like I said, that from what I've seen, that 1970 World Cup team from Brazil was the best I've ever seen by a long way, long way. You know, there's been some. I mean, the Germans have had some good teams, haven't they? And you know, Argentina have had good teams. England had a good team once, not so much now.
Yeah, never.
It's like they floated on the pitch, Dermot.
Yeah,
You know, they were like, they did the samba dance when they get the ball. You know, they were fabulous to watch.
And Izhan, they played on mud baths. You've got to admit, Maradona's second goal against England. Apparently, the pitch was moving. At the Artesic Stadium, the pitch was literally, it wasn't even put together correctly. Brazilians played on the beach in their bare feet. Argentinians did the same. Does that always give them an advantage over European players?
I would say it's a disadvantage, because like they also played. They didn't play with like the highest quality football as well. So when you play like with the real thing, you're sort of not as accustomed. I guess accustomed to it. You don't have the practice with it. Even Pele, he couldn't afford shoes. I'm pretty sure. So he said he found it. Like when he was first called up to Santos, right? He didn't know how to play with shoes on, and that was age, like I think he was he was 15 when he got his first contract. So up until that point, he was just playing barefooted the whole time. He never played with shoes.
Yeah.
Ellie,
Imagine that. Yeah.
Maradona 86. Apart from England, scores a wonder goal against Italy, to equalise. Sets up the goal, one of the goals, or the one goal against Uruguay when they beat them 1-0, the first win against Argentina since 1930. Does what it does against England. Scores 2 brilliant goals against a really strong Belgium side. Then it comes to the final. Then you got that lob pass he sends to Burachaga to score the winner.
Yeah.
Do you think 1990 now in Italy, do you think Maradona's demons that he did have, what he did outside of football, do you think that would start to take its toll on him? And is that why we only got glimpses of genius of Maradona in 1990? Where Pele, 58, 62, kicked out, injury in 62, was definitely kicked out the World Cup in 66.
Yeah.
And 70. Do you think we got glimpses of Maradona some of the time in the World Cup matches where Pele got it all of the time? Do you still back Maradona as the best South American World Cup player ever, even though he had his demons and his what he got up to in his private life?
Do you know what? That's like part of the attraction, that he's overcome a lot of his demons to actually get on the football pitch. Because you know that he loved playing football. I mean, he was playing in the streets from a young age, you know, and he was in that 86 final, Dermot. Like you said, he wasn't playing with the greatest team. He actually dragged them to the final with his superior skills, and he got them to that final. Like you said, he set up the winning goal. But it was a shame that he didn't score. But when it come 1990, he had more demons to face because he was deeply into what he was doing. So, but still, he still had that magical touch, that beautiful footballer, the way he glided across the pitch, the way he beat his man like they weren't there. I've never seen another footballer go past a player so easily with his trickery. The only one I can put close to that, well, two, Gaza and Johan Cruyff.
I was going to say Cruyff as well, because Cruyff really should have been in this conversation, because Johan Cruyff was
I loved Johan Cruyff
The
as
best
well.
I saw of Maradona in 1990s when he did that run against Brazil when he put in Canija through for the winning goal in the second round match.
Yes.
Mark, Izhan, sorry. You see the likes of Pele and Maradona, and you got Ronaldo and Messi. What about the original CR9, the original
Oh, what
Ronaldo?
player?
Where would you put him? Would you put him on the same bracket as Maradona and Pele, or would you put him in the bracket of Ronaldo or Messi, or would you put the original Ronaldo above the lot of them?
I think with R9, his issue was injuries. Prevented him from having a super long career. I mean, there's like jokes and memes that if R9 had healthy knees, there would be no greatest of all time debate. It would definitely be him. So yeah, but I think that's the issue. He just didn't have the longevity to compare. Especially with Messi and Ronaldo, they definitely have the longevity to play at the
Yeah.
highest level, even
Yeah.
today, playing at the highest level. So yeah, I think with R9, he has to be below. He has to be below them because he did not play at the top level for that long. Look, he was unlucky with injuries, but you know, it is what it is. I guess he just couldn't achieve that level for that long.
He didn't look after his body as
Yeah,
well.
he did gain a lot of weight as
And
well.
they didn't.
Yeah,
And
he
they
was
didn't have
cheap, wasn't he?
they didn't have the fitness coaches in
No.
those years, and the
No.
people that would take care of your diet and your eating plan. And
Is it true that he had a convulsion fit before the '98 final?
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
And they forced to play him. What does that say about Brazilian mentality? That if you've had a convulsion, you're fitting on the floor minutes before a World Cup final, surely common sense would say, right, we can't play him because he's just had a convulsion.
Yeah, but you got to remember the rules was different back then. I mean, you wouldn't get away with that these days. Back, I know it's only like 20.
It's player protection now.
Yeah. It's only like 20 odd year ago. But like, if he come round and he said, I'm all right, it's right, on you go then. Get on with it.
Yeah.
Right, question to all of you, because I want to park this conversation. I want to get on to some Tottenham news as well, which we're all eager with Ericsson news and the signings we've got coming in. Izhan's going to do some player profiles and shows coming up. I think we're going to do Langley. We're going to do one on Richarlison, which I'm super looking forward to doing.
Yes.
I did a poll very quickly on the Tottenham Go Twitter page.
Are we not talking about 1994 then?
Yeah, we will get to that. I am getting to that.
I was going to say, I'm interested to know what happened in that World Cup, even though I do know.
Yeah. I have got an answer for that as well.
Yes. And then we'll see who the greatest is.
Yeah, it's Maradona. Right. And he didn't use his hand either. Right. I did a poll. Who was the greatest World Cup? And we had 23 votes in a 6-hour poll. And I thank everyone who's took part in the poll on our Twitter page on Tottenham Go. You can find us there. Pele 48% and Maradona 52%.
Yes.
So 52% of the Tottenham Gold Twitter fan followers have picked Maradona as the greatest.
That was obviously now this poll was obviously just conducted in Ireland.
Because they know their stuff.
It's obviously in Ireland. It's an
no,
Ireland thing.
it's conducted around the world.
No, Dermot made about 10 fake accounts.
Yes.
That's what I do when I can't sleep at night. I'm going to make another fake account and pick Maradona. Right, we're going to end this now, but we're all going to have our final say in it. And then if we come to a draw, then I would have to decide and vote.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Goodbye, then.
Okay, you can have it then, Mark. We'll give it to Izhan. Izhan's the youngest. For me, right, 94. Right. Retired after 90, came back in 94. Mark's looking very interested. How I'm going to get out of this one.
Yes.
Right. Basically,
what happened?
Worked his butt off, got himself fit, got Argentina into the 94 World Cup finals in America. Now he did have a bit of problem with Smarties and Mars bars.
No, it
So that
wasn't. It
wasn't
was sherbet. It was sherbet.
Was it sherbet? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Nose
he
candy.
wasn't going to be allowed into the country, but they did allow him in anyway. And he was then taking special apples that he bought in an American convenience store down the corner.
Yes.
Now this convenience store sprayed it with ice vanilla stuff, right? So there was something in the vanilla spray that
Yes.
you know, it's like if you take a painkiller, it has some morphine in it. So if you get asked for a morphine test, right, it's going to, you know, you're going to get picked up for taking morphine in your system.
Yes.
So
That's why he was
basically,
wiping it off his nose.
There's so many drugs like that.
he was eating too many apples, right?
Yes.
And that's what got done. Fever Chuck
Allegedly.
actually ate too many apples.
So what
Go on,
did they
Mark,
find in
tell
his system?
the true story. What actually did happen? I know you're eager to. Go on,
Yes.
tell the true story. What
Do you want me
actually
to?
happened in Nigeria? Yeah.
Yes.
Go
Well,
on.
Well, it's
now,
relevant.
Hit us with it.
allegedly, he tested positive for cocaine, and he was kicked out of the World Cup. I believe that's true.
Yeah.
That is right, isn't it? He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say
Yeah.
very quickly on that, Mark? This comment here by
Shame.
Jude. Jude, I'm just going to call you Jude because
Yes.
I
Yeah,
will
Yeah,
not.
just call him
I
Hey
will not.
Jude. Hey
I'm going to
Jude.
call you Hey Jude. Thank you very much for coming in, and thank you for the comment. And please put in another comment. It's a brilliant one. This one. It didn't help that R9 used to be hacked down. Key reason for this. Key reason lack of longevity. Would you agree with that? You're not.
Yeah.
Free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a different game back then. It was
Yeah.
a different game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
They used to get away with blue murder, didn't they?
It's a completely different game back then than it is now.
I'm glad he laughed at that.
Now
I'm
you
actually
only
very
have to
glad
breathe
he
on a player and you get a yellow card.
Well, this is why. I mean, can you imagine what Pele went through? Because it was even worse in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Well, he basically got kicked out of the. You know, he got hacked to death in the '66 World Cup.
Yeah.
Pele.
Where would you put Eusebio in that bracket?
Very high.
He was a great player.
Brilliant player.
I don't really know a lot about him. I'm not that old, Dermot. Come on.
I was only young, but I just remember my dad raving about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said this Eusebio, what a fantastic player.
Yeah.
And he also raved about Puskás.
Yeah. No,
I watched the documentary the other night about the Hungarian side of the 50s. Jesus, what a side they had.
Fantastic side.
Aaron Dobbs just dropped in. Big up, Aaron. I hope you're doing well.
Hello,
sir.
Aaron.
It's lovely to see you here.
Good Irishman.
I've only just tuned in. Don't have Twitter. I would have voted for Pele. So you were in Mark's corner. So
big up, Aaron.
I'm glad Jude laughed at that. Glad Jude laughed at that.
I'm wearing green for Ireland, Aaron.
Yeah, so big up, Jude. Yeah, were you saying, Izhan? Go on.
Yeah, Jude. Aaron is a man of culture, I must say.
Yeah.
He is.
Must be.
He's a man of mystery as well.
Jude said he was a phenomenon, and I think he's talking about Pele. Or no, he's talking about
R9. He
the
was
original
on about
Ronaldo.
R9.
Alexander Hilton
R9.
said, yeah, but Vincent Jant, I mean, that's just not even worth reading that.
It's so funny, man.
and to be fair, Maradona also used to get hacked too. Well, Maradona did get hacked.
Yes.
He did.
He's the most fouled player in World Cup history.
Especially when he went to Italy as well. He was hacked down a lot then.
If I could just say
Italian
one thing,
defenders.
he should have been chopped down for his second goal in '86 against us. He
Yeah,
should
but
have.
Peter Reid was too slow.
I want to ask you a sensible question, and I want a sensible answer.
Yes, all right. Yes, I
put aside the handball and your negativity about how brilliant Argentinian football is, and how brilliant Maradona was to score two brilliant goals, one with his head and one with second.
One brilliant goal. One brilliant goal.
Two. You know, it came off his head, not his hand.
No.
If Peter Shilton, if he was so convinced, Peter Shilton should have knocked him, flattened him. To be fair, right?
Well,
and he was only 5'6", Maradona.
Yeah, he
I
wasn't
know.
very tall.
And he out jumped
My
a
height.
6'1" goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless he's
how?
got
Yeah.
a neck like a giraffe, then
He did.
I
He
don't
was
see how he
Inspector
headed it.
Gadget. You saw
Yeah,
his
E.T.
head. He went
He
go
must have
go
had a neck
gadget
like
next.
E.T.
He did. He
His
went go
arm
go
was his
gadget
foot
next. And
extension, isn't
Yeah.
it?
exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't it, Dermot? The arm is
Yeah.
part of the foot, isn't
Right.
it?
Also, forget all about his demons and his rebel
Cheating.
side. You could say the same about Michael Schumacher in Formula One. You could say the same about
Yeah.
him for knocking Damon Hill off the track in '94 and running Jack Villeneuve off in '97. And as a football person, do you respect Maradona as one of the greatest players ever to play in this face of this planet?
Oh, without a
Or,
shadow of a doubt.
or does what he did, his rebellion side, just say, no, I'm sorry, I have to take that into account, and I'm sorry, I can't forgive him for what he did. I'm being truthful now.
No, yeah. Right. Well, you've got to remember, I said this earlier, the 1986 game was only 4 years after the Falklands War, right? And the Argentinians were still very peeved about the Falklands. And so when England played
I have
them in
my own
that game,
views on that. About my own views on that as well.
well, there's no
Personally,
need to get political, but the war
No.
happened, obviously. The war
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
And in 1986, like, well, from what I can remember, I'd have been coming up 16, so I'd have been 15. But the whole of this country, it was almost like another war. You know what I mean? But on a football pitch. And the Argentinians, because they lost, it was almost like a tribal thing for them. They had to beat the English. And when Maradona scored with his hand, that was the Argentinians getting their own back on us.
Yeah, but isn't that normal for Argentinian football, Izhan? Sorry, Matt, I just want to clear that. Isn't it, Izhan? Isn't that normal for South American football? They will take an advantage if they can get one. Isn't that just in their nature?
Well, you could say that about any football.
Yeah, anybody does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I've seen plenty of English players handball the ball
Yeah.
into the goal.
well, what I'm trying to get over is that 1986, it was only 4 years after the Falklands War. And it was almost seen like the Argentinians' revenge for that war. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It was still, all that was still very fresh in everybody's memories. You know, it was still fresh in them, and it was still fresh in, you know, because it was only 4 years before. Or, yeah, it was 82, wasn't it? Falklands?
82, yeah.
Yeah. You know, so it was, you know, it was only 4 years before that. You know, so and look, Maradona even come out and said it was the hand of God. And so he knew he handled it. And that was his revenge on the English. Because, you know, but, all right, it's one of them things that happened. It happened against my country, so I'm not very happy about it. If Harry Kane does it in Qatar, I'll be over the moon. And we win the World Cup, I'll be over the moon. You go down as a hero. You'd be legendary. If Harry Kane jumped up like that and knocked one in with his arm,
Yeah, but that's
away with
cheating.
it, obviously.
That's
Hey,
cheating. That's cheating.
It'd be different if it was Harry Kane for England.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. How the hell is that different?
Well, look, if it goes for you, you're going to love it. If it goes against you, you're going to hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how is it
That's
different,
like
Mark?
any goal.
Yeah.
If you're saying cheating is cheating, if Maradona cheated in '86,
Well, he did.
but you've just sat there and said if Harry Kane did it for the next World Cup, it's okay.
Now, hang on a minute. I never said it's okay, but if England win the World Cup and Harry Kane knocks one in with his arm in the last minute, I'll be the first one jumping up her. You know.
So you were the first
Yeah.
one to condemn him for cheating.
Well, obviously, this day and age, you'd never get away with it because there's VAR.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but that's not the question I asked. If Harry Kane did that, would you jump up and say he cheated? If an England player had done that in '86, would you have said, and they won the game, would you have said it was a great goal?
Of course. Of course I would. Of course I
No,
would.
I have to accept you being honest. Fair enough. Izhan,
At least you're being
if
honest.
if a Canadian player did that in the World, say you needed that to win your group in the World Cup coming up in November, and a Canadian player knocked it in with his hand without anyone noticing it, it got away with it, would you think, brilliant, well done? Or would you say, hang on a minute, he cheated?
Well, it's sort of like the debate in cricket, like should a batsman walk if he's like edged the ball, right? In my opinion, look, you can hold your hand up and
Yup,
say
Carl.
you can hold your hand up and say, yeah, like I cheated, but at the end of the day, it's not your job, right? So I mean, it's the referees and the officials' job to say that look, this clearly wasn't fair. So if it happened, I mean, look, fair enough. Well, I guess it's not fair, but it happened, right? They're gonna take any
We
advantage.
overlook it.
Right. Ellie, let's ask you,
Yes.
have your opinion on it. And then, Mark, I'm going to go to your final questions, and you on this whole conversation, and then we'll go over to the Tottenham news, talk something a bit more civilized, and we don't end up in a raging argument, you, me, and Mark, or one of us storming off the stream, right?
Yeah.
86, the hand of God. Do you think the officials bottled it? Do you think they did notice, and the officials, because he was from South America, do you think he bottled it?
The officials, I think they just gave it because they probably didn't see it clearly enough. So they were in doubt whether it was a handball or it came off his shoulder. Because
Isn't that the thing, Ellie? If you in doubt, you don't give the goal.
Yeah, that's right.
Peter Shilton was chasing after the referee.
But they
gave
it in those years. It was easier to give it than not to give it, because now you've got VAR. They're never ever going to get away with it, are they?
No.
If they've handballed it in, even like with penalties. Look at us in the Champions League final with Sissoko.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous. But what I would say, if
Thierry
it was
Henry,
one of our
French.
players that did it,
Cheating.
if it was one of our English players that did it, I'd be the same as Mark. I'd think, get in there, you know, because football, right? It can be cruel and it can be an elation, right? If you get it with a handball and the referee don't see it, I would still celebrate the goal.
Yeah.
Because if it means my country winning the World Cup, you can't argue with it.
No.
I know it is cheating, but I don't know. It's just
you've only got.
There's so many goals that, like there's a foul before and then they give the goal. That's just as bad as just a handball, really.
Well, you've only got to look at 1966. The second
that
goal
wasn't
for
a
England
goal.
never crossed the line, did it?
Yeah, it didn't cross the line.
No,
it didn't.
It didn't actually cross the line.
I mean, and to
so
be fair, it was
it
a
swings
Russian
and
that helped.
roundabouts in football.
It does.
Look at our goal against Man United that went 2 foot in.
Yeah. What was his name?
Mendes.
Pedro Mendes.
Yeah, Pedro Mendes. It was 2 foot in.
Yeah.
You see, like it's football, you win some, you lose some.
I was in a pub full of Man
Maradona
United fans. To come
back for, hang on, I'm going to move myself up there. And to come back from the 66 mark, you did get help from a Russian linesman.
Yes.
Who could not see directly if that ball had crossed the line or not. The German who was near the goal said it hadn't crossed the line.
Yes.
The German goalkeeper who actually watched the goal said it didn't cross the line.
Yeah.
But it crossed the line, apparently, to a Russian linesman.
Yes.
So really, you would have won 3-2 instead of 4-2.
Would we have got the third? Would we have got?
You don't
They
know
think it's all over.
because it changes the game.
Of course,
Well,
doesn't it?
I think personally he should have played Jimmy Greaves in the final, but that's just my argument.
he was injured.
completely.
Yes.
He was injured.
No, he wasn't. He was actually fit for that final.
Oh, he was. Oh, it's because.
I think they just didn't like Jimmy Greaves because of his drinking problem, and they didn't trust him. Maybe.
And Jeff Hurst
They
did well
should
in the
have. They should
semi-final.
have trusted him because
Right.
he did it. He did it for Spurs.
Did Jeff
and
Hurst
that's the
do well
main
in the
thing.
semi-final?
Huh?
Jeff Hurst had done well in the semi-final,
And the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, let's end up this debate. Pele, Maradona. I am going for Maradona. My argument is
I'm going for Maradona.
he was the greatest player that ever lived in this planet.
Certainly not.
He went over to Europe and tried his play in 2 difficult leagues. He may not have had the goals as Pele. He may not have had the World Cup winners' medals as Pele, but 1 winner's medal and a runner-up. 2 finals is not to be sniffed at. I think his
No
goals,
pun there, was there? There was no pun there. It was not sniffed that.
there was
Colombian sniff.
Yeah.
there was no doubt that he was the most gifted player I have ever watched as a child growing up. 86 World Cup, as I said, I got an Argentinian shirt with number 10 on the back. I was Maradona in the schoolyard, being Maradona when we played World Cup. And for me, he dragged an entire nation that had been war weary, as you put, Mark, after the Falklands War, dragged them up, took them all the way to World Cup glory. And you cannot say Pele had many great players around him. He never dragged Brazil the way Maradona dragged his country all the way. He went to Italy, he had his demons, he had his problems. He managed his country as well, which people seem to forget. Pele never did. He got Argentina to a quarter-final in the World Cup. He really was the most gifted player of my generation. And for me, he is the greatest South American World Cup player to come out of South America is Diego Armando Maradona. Izhan, who to finish it off, Pele, Maradona, who you're going to pick and why?
Yeah, I'm going to pick Pele. I think he has a far greater legacy. He's the one who even coined the term "the beautiful game," the first ever to use it. I mean, look, you have to be a brilliant player to be coined a national treasure during your playing career. I mean, he was, I believe he was 18 or 19 at the time when the Brazilian government themselves coined him a national treasure, so he could not leave the country and play for another club. I mean, you have to be real good. He also tore down so many racial barriers in his country and the sport. You know, he is the FIFA. He's the FIFA footballer of the century. Undoubtedly, I think it has to be Pele, just for his legacy, just for his impact on the game. No one comes close. Really no one comes close to what he did for the sport in general or as a whole.
So you're going for Pele.
Yeah,
Ellie,
Yeah.
who do you pick? Pele, Maradona, and why? And give you reasons why you think that person is the greatest ever.
Yeah, like you, Dermot, he's the greatest footballer that I've ever seen. Technically fantastic, scored the most brilliant goals, went to 2 countries that are held as the 2 best countries in Europe to play in, apart from the Prem. But then you've got to go from those eras, Spain and Italy. And he conquered Napoli, won the league title for them, hands down. He's just exciting to watch, Dermot. And Mark and izhan, you just coming on the pitch and warming up, watching him warm up and all the skills that he did. That's what I want in a footballer, you know. I don't care that he didn't score as many goals as Pele. What I'm on technical ability, beautiful footballer to watch. So graceful, strong, powerful, 5'6", could head a ball, could handball a ball.
Yes, yes.
All I'd say is he excited me more than Pele, and I'm giving it to Maradona.
And Mark, I mean, we all know which side you're put on. What do you say about who's your player and why?
Well, it's obviously Maradona. All right. I wonder what order I was. Well, it's obviously Pele, obviously,
Yeah.
because I cannot forgive Maradona for what he'd done to my national team. All right, I will admit he was a great player, and to be honest, I'm a bit young to remember Pele, to be honest, but I was never going to come down on the side of Maradona. Never.
Is
Never,
it
ever,
really
ever.
the handball? Is that all I'm saying is this, right, Mark? Is it that one bit of action that's turned you off Maradona for life?
I'll ask you one question. How do you
Yeah.
feel about Thierry Henry?
Well, he played for Arsenal, so I hate
No,
him
no,
anyway.
no, no,
So
no, no. Besides that, because when you said you had a Maradona shirt
yeah,
and you used to think you were him, I was
Yeah.
going to say I had a Thierry Henry shirt, see what you'd say, but I can't say that because I'd be chucked off and never be allowed back on here again.
look, I'm allowing you to say it once.
No. All right. Let me ask you a question. How do
Okay.
you feel about Thierry Henry after what he did to Ireland? Not the fact that he played for Arsenal, because none of us like him because he played for Arsenal. Let's get that straight. How do you feel about him after what he'd done to your country?
He was a cheating so-and-so.
Well, there we go. I rest my case. That's
Yeah,
all I got
but
to say.
yeah, but he was always a cheating so-and-so, and then he's sort of going all over the place. He was a cheating so-and-so. Maradona was he took an edge when he found it, like Henri did, like probably Pele probably did in his time. But one thing about Henri was it was blatant, right? You could actually see the handball.
And so
Maradona,
Maradona's wasn't blatant.
it
The
wasn't
man's not
blatant.
7 foot tall.
Right. If you saw that goal first, if you ever saw that goal first, Mark, right? The first
What?
goal against England in 86.
Yeah, I remember watching it.
Yeah. Did you say straight away, hand on heart, straight away, that was handball?
Yes, I did. And that is God's honest truth. I remember exactly where I was and I was watching it because Peter Shilton was quite a big goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And I thought,
So, not
And I
even the
thought, how did he
commentators.
outjump him?
That was the thing where how it was kind of impossible for
Yeah.
Maradona to outjump him, and Peter
Yeah.
Shilton had his fist
Yeah.
in the air
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
So how did Maradona reach that high?
Yeah.
It was
Because
pretty
he
obvious
because
at
he
first
had
glance.
he had a bit of hair sticking up in his head when he gelled his hair because he had perm hair, didn't he?
Oh,
He
yeah.
came off the perm. But you're telling me that as soon as you saw that goal first, you turned to your dad and went, "That was handball."
I knew it was handball.
Yeah,
It's like Izhan just said, it's impossible for him to header it.
it was really easy to see, like at first
Yeah.
glance, his hand, like
You
the
watch
goalkeeper's
clips on
hand
it.
was right in
You
the air.
watch the commentators say they all thought it was offside. Nobody copped on it was handball until about 3 or 4
Peter
minutes
Shilton,
later.
as soon as it happened, Peter Shilton chased the referee and he was going like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
the England
they
players,
did.
they all saw it. All the England players
They
saw
all
it was a
protested.
handball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As soon
well,
as it happened, I knew it was handball.
in
as soon
Ireland,
as-
it was classed as a great goal.
I'm sure it was. It's the same as the Thierry Henry one over here.
Yeah, right, Mark. We're not going to fall out, are
No.
we? It's all good
Sorry,
banter.
this.
We've got Mayhem Skip. I love the name. I absolutely love the name.
Yeah.
He says, yes, we all did. And he said, he's only 5'6", as Ellie said.
Yes. Yeah.
So we actually come to a deadlock. We've got 2 for Maradona, 2 for Pele. So what I'm going to do is
That's
I'm
it,
going to
2
put
all.
it,
In the comments.
I'm going to put it in the comments. You've got a couple of
Yeah.
minutes, 3 minutes to say who's going to win this debate, because we have to have a winner tonight, or we could do
Yeah.
a part 2 to the show because this was so good and I've really enjoyed doing this.
Yes.
So in
Same
the
here.
comments, who was better, Pele, Maradona? I think another one we can do, and I'd love to do, is Ronaldo and Messi,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Ronaldo's better than
That would
Messi.
be a very
To
good
be
one.
fair,
So do I.
Well, I'm Messi. See, I'm
I'm
Messi.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, I'm with Ronaldo.
Oh, all right.
Okay, I'll go
Ronaldo.
with Messi. I'll go with Mark.
Oh, all right.
See, Mark does like
Turncoat,
Argentinian
turncoat.
footballers. We've learned something tonight. Mark is actually an Argentinian fan in quiet.
I am not.
Right, so we've got Jude here.
He
We've
does.
got
He
Jude.
secretly supports them.
He does. He has a
Yeah.
a secret
He wakes up in the
Argentinian
morning
flag.
with his Argentinian shirt on.
It does. He has he wakes up and plays the Argentinian national anthem as soon as he wakes
He
up. You know, he
does.
stands
That'd
up.
be in
Yeah.
Spanish also, wouldn't it? Or is it Spanish or Portuguese?
Well,
they speak?
Spanish.
Jude has said Pele.
Yes, that's 1-0 to me.
Premier Hotspur TV. I mean, everyone, please get over to this young man. He does a brilliant channel.
Yeah.
He's saying Pele.
Fantastic. That's
That's
Simon.
2-0.
Hands down.
Simon
2-0.
and Matt.
And while
Brilliant.
we're waiting, I forgot to thank people at the beginning, and it's something I always do, but I want to thank our Patreon members. Philip Brady,
Yes.
Izhan, Queen Ellie, and Mark Cousins as well. If you want to become a patron now, when you become a Patreon member, you do actually get a little gift. You get a Tottenham Gold mug with the Tottenham Gold emblem on your mug. So when you do sign up to your membership, you do get a mug as well. And I will be doing more merchandise as the season goes on. We'll be getting together, the three of us, to discuss which merch with T-shirts and stickers.
Yes.
And we'll have a sticker with Ellie's face on it, where you can have Ellie on your mug. So
That'd be
that's
brilliant.
sort of the thing. But everyone,
I've got
please,
the cheekbones.
yeah, and please, everyone, hit that link. It's at the top of the chat. I'll put it down the bottom here again for it, and do become a Patreon member, because it does help the channel. It helps us move forward and become even better, and that's what we want. We've got a few. We've got another one here. We've got Alexander Hit on Maradona. Stake his clip. He picks for well done. So that's 2-1. Premier Hotspur TV. It says, guys, Maradona was a cheating so and so.
Yes. Yeah.
One goal. You cannot let her go. One goal.
One goal.
Jesus,
Too
Mary
right.
and Joseph.
All the other goals weren't cheated.
One
So
goal.
You
Too
telling me
right.
the second goal he scored was probably the goal of the century?
Amazing. John Barnes scored a similar one.
Yes.
Yeah, John Barnes scores
He
one
did.
goal in
Brazil.
1984, right?
That was
It
against
was.
Against Brazil, okay.
Yeah.
And then you slate him then for the next 15 years playing for England. What's the
He
difference?
didn't really perform well for England, but he played fantastic for Liverpool.
I mean, we had Ray Houghton. You've never beaten Ireland, England anyway, so that's another subject. England's not the best World Cup team in the world,
no,
We think we
by
are.
far.
We think we are.
You think you are, but
You go with the expectations.
You think of that England team, 86, right? You had Hoddle, you had John Barnes, Peter Reid, you had Gary Lineker, you had Terry Butcher, Pete Shilton. You had players that had won trophies for their clubs. And, you should have beaten an average Argentinian side.
Yeah.
But you got undone by one player.
We were cheated by one player.
You were not cheated. And Premier Hotspur said, you can say it was only one goal, but that cost us that year.
Yes.
Yeah, hang on. Right, my argument to that is, right, you went 1-0 down. What stopped you going to getting 2 goals up the other end?
I mean, it's pretty difficult to just outright demand that you score a goal in a one-off game, especially when the pressure is so high. I just wanted to share a quote. Puskas, Ferenc Puskas, the Hungarian and Real Madrid legend. So he said that the greatest player in history was Alfredo Di Stefano. He said, I refuse to classify Pele as a player because he was above that.
There we are.
You can't really, when somebody like Puskas is saying that, you can't really argue against it, can you?
You can't argue with him, but I would say Maradona was a god. So he was up
Maradona
there.
for Argentina was a living god.
Godly.
He could have
Living
ran for
God.
president, and I think he would have won. It's the same as Pele
Yeah.
or Ayrton Senna.
Well, Pele
I mean,
was a politician. I think he was Brazil's sports minister for a period of time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The medical team probably in
He
charge of the
probably
medical.
didn't do any work. He probably just
He-
turned up at things.
he hasn't been well recently, Pele either, has he? He's had a
No.
heart problem or something, hasn't he?
Mhm.
He had a tumour. He had a tumour, and then they're going to give him chemotherapy, apparently.
Right, Mark.
Yeah.
Jude says England were terrible tournament teams. There's a reason Germany, Italy, Brazil always seem to perform well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I honestly do agree with that.
Yeah.
Do you feel with this World Cup coming up in the winter that it could be a chance for your country to win a World Cup again?
Probably not, because we'll probably lose on penalties to Germany as usual. That's what normally happens.
Oh,
But all I gotta say, like the one going back to '86 again, you got to remember that was in Mexico, and normally when it's in, I know Mexico isn't technically South America, but you know when it's over that side of the world, there is one of them countries that win it. I think it's only Brazil that's won it outside of their continent, isn't it?
Yeah, Brazil.
Yeah, did they win it
going
in
through,
Sweden or something?
I think
58?
Germany did as well.
Oh, did they?
Germany won it in
Yeah.
won it in Japan and Korea, and they
Oh,
also
yeah.
won it in Brazil.
They
Yeah.
won it.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's
Yeah,
8-7 to Europe or 9-7 to Europe
They
in
fresh.
World Cup games.
But normally,
That's the year they thrashed Brazil, isn't it? 7-1.
Yeah.
yeah, if
That
it's
was,
but normally if it's say in a South American country, then a South American country will win. If it's say in Europe, a European team will win. You know,
normally works out that way.
yeah, it
Yeah, it
does.
does. Izhan, with the World Cup being in Qatar, in the
Iran are going to win it then. As soon as it's like that area.
Yeah, I'm going to clip
my
this.
God.
That you said a little bit about you supporting Argentina. I am going to find it and clip it. Actually, put it out there on YouTube that you
I did
actually
not
are
say
an
that.
Argentinian fan.
I did not
Right.
say I support
Izhan,
Argentina.
Probably someone's clipped me saying something stupid. Izhan, Ireland are not in the World Cup, so I've got to pick a side. I will be supporting Canada. There's no doubt about that because you're from Canada and you're co-host of my channel. So, of course, this channel will become Canadian gold in the World Cup. Apart from that,
Yeah.
who I will be supporting the likes of Argentina and the South
I
American
thought you might
sides.
be.
Yeah.
And Bobby Kay is Canadian as well.
Anyone but
Who do
England.
you think will win the World Cup, in your opinion? Do you think it'll be a European side or a South American side?
Look, to be honest, if I had to put money on it, I think Argentina are gonna win. To be honest, I think they're about to break the record for longest winning streak for a national side. And another thing that this is sort of a weird comparison, but I think so. People say that like Portugal's national team is like really, really strong. I mean, they do have a lot of brilliant players, but I think the issue with Portugal is that they just don't have the defense yet. And I think Argentina are at the stage Portugal are at the stage Argentina were at about like 5-6 years ago, where they had a plethora of attacking talent, but never had the defense to hold things up. But I think now Argentina have the defense. Their team is well drilled. They're firing, and I really think Argentina can go on and win it. And yeah, obviously, I think like with Romero now, Lissandro Martinez, Tagliafico,
Lo Celso.
and even Juan Foyth at right back. I think Argentina do have a strong.
And Argentina, didn't they win the Copa America as well last summer?
Yeah, they won the Copa America and the Finalissima against Italy. They thrashed Italy, in fact. So
that's right. They did the one that Copa America European Championship final, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
So-
I
And
just
they've
say,
got a
Alex,
brilliant right back as well.
they had. Can I just say, Alex, I never said England was better than Ireland. Ireland is the best football team in the planet. We just haven't got there yet, but we are going to be there. But I'll remind you one little fact: you've only beaten us once in 35 years. You never beaten us.
Yeah.
We're unbeaten against you in World Cup games. We're unbeaten against you in European Championships, where we did beat you 1-0 in Stuttgart. We drew 1-1 with you in the World Cup in 1990. We
Come
actually
on,
qualified for the 94 World Cup when England did not, and we beat Italy. You know, we qualified.
Yeah.
We're just a far better football nation. But if you're playing like GAA or rugby, we are better than England. Football, we're getting there, but Ireland is better than England, and I never said England was better than Ireland. I would go and I would actually cut my tongue out if I ever said that. So, yeah. So there you go. Right.
I think Mark's speechless now.
I am.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to upset him.
You've
so,
done him. It's the
Yeah.
Irish charm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Mayhem Skip's got one of your comments you're going to love, Mark. So I'm going
Here
to
we
bring that
go.
up in a minute. Aaron Dobbs says the only South American team won in Europe was Brazil in '58, and the only European team that has won in North Central South America was Germany. Yeah, and
Yeah.
also the one
Yeah.
in Japan and Korea in 2002.
Yeah.
That was
they
Brazil
beat the
as
South
well.
Koreans,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah, so Brazil have actually
semi-final.
won it on two different continents, I think.
Yeah.
Alex here again says, IMO, Germany going to win it. Flick is class. Manager has won the Champions League with Bayern previously. I don't think
Yeah.
Germany have the side to win it. I'm with
Yeah,
Izhan.
they
I
don't.
think Argentina have the strongest side, I think,
Yeah.
technically in the world.
Yeah, I think so.
For
And
some
they're
reason,
technically
though,
gifted as well.
It depends.
Those
I think
Germans,
England,
though, they get over the line, don't
they
they?
always turn up, don't they? They always
They
turn
always
up. in
turn
World
up.
Cup. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
also
they
think
do.
with England's group, it's not an easy group England are in. You've got USA, you've got Iran, which I think is a bloody hilarious. I mean, imagine you've got the two countries that like each other. Let's put them in the same group in the World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just bloody
I
hilariously
know.
funny. And you've got Wales in that group. So it's
Yeah.
not an easy group that to come out of. It's a
No.
quite difficult group. So I think Canada's got an easy group, haven't you?
No, we have Belgium, Croatia, and Morocco in our group. So
That is
Well,
not easy.
You'll beat Morocco. You get a point against Belgium, and you know
You
could
you
do.
grand, you're qualified.
I think even I don't know, Croatia and Belgium seem to be the favorites.
Yeah.
I think Modric is probably going to tear us up. Kind of afraid, but
Well-
I guess we'll see. We have been punching above our weight lately. We beat the U.S. We beat them 2-0. So I do think Canada
Yeah.
has a solid fighting chance.
I know where Alex is going with this. I will explain. I do a FIFA stream on the channel some nights.
Yeah, that was brilliant last
And
night.
I did an international a couple of days ago where we played Ireland were playing England, and I did it on world class, the top, thing on FIFA. Yes, I did lose 15-2. I will admit that, but we did play them again.
Right.
I put
about
them
right.
in. I did put them in. I did put it into semi-pro, which I'm comfortable at, and we actually won on penalties. And Mason Mount did miss the win. Did miss the last penalty for England. So
That's about accurate then.
yeah, it
Well,
is very
accurate.
I did
But-
I did a match last night, Mark. We're doing an FA Cup run. We were what was it 3-2 down to Leicester, and I brought Stevie B on. He scored the last goal. I think Ellie was watching. He scored the last goal in injury
Yeah.
time. I couldn't. He scored 2
It's
goals.
brilliant.
It was just like, it was just like
I just
Right,
stayed
okay.
up for that.
yeah. Mayhem Skip.
Yeah, but
says,
you lost 15.
Yes.
to hello Ellie. Are you there?
Oh.
Ellie's gone sideways. We're in Australia. Right. Right, I'll go on with this one. If
Yes.
Maradona was on cocaine at Napoli, do you think that gave them an advantage to win the league that year?
More. Yes.
Um,
Definitely.
I was actually going to go to Izhan because I know what Mark's going to say. Mark's going to turn around and say definitely yes. It gave them an advantage. I want to go to somebody sensible like Izhan.
Okay.
Ellie's now come back from Australia. She's gone, right? Izhan, did it give them an advantage, or do you think it was just no?
Well, I don't. It wouldn't give you an advantage. If anything, it's a disadvantage. But
Wake them up a bit.
But I mean, it does show that Maradona, his lack of professionalism and
Yeah.
focus on his career really derailed things for him. And look, he has no one to blame but himself for his poor decisions. And look, unfortunately, he did pass away quite recently. But if you look at his health history and all the things that he did off the field, some of it was quite shocking, and unfortunately, it led to an early grave for him. It derailed his football career, and it's really sad to see for anyone, let alone a player as brilliant as him. We were probably robbed of at least 5 years
Yeah.
of his career. And obviously Maradona couldn't live out his whole life due to his drug
Yeah.
addictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
You want my
it's
opinion? You want my
yeah.
opinion?
I just want
Maradona.
to say this before I get your opinion, Mark, because I know you're going to say yeah. I know.
No.
It's sad that as footballer as talented as him had to go down that route.
Yeah.
That it's the same as George Best. He had the demons. It's George Best could have been on the same length as Maradona and Pele.
Yeah.
But George Best did more in his career in a short career.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that players like that actually get into these predicaments.
Yeah.
Do you think there wasn't? Do you think it was a case of where there's like Paul Merson had his problems? There was
Same
help for him.
stuff.
Yeah,
Same
but
stuff.
same stuff. But there was help from him. There was
Yeah.
rehab. Do you feel that there wasn't any help from him at that time? And do you feel if there was, do you think he could have? His legacy would have been better than what it turned out to be.
I
Everyone
think.
is reminded of Maradona with the hand of God and
Yeah.
his what he got up at Napoli, not the football skills and not the football genius he
I
was.
I think all the players you've mentioned, George Best, Maradona, I'll even throw Paul Gascoigne in there.
Yeah,
He wasn't. The sort of help wasn't about then. If you got yourself, I mean, you look at the way football is now. They even tell you what to eat.
Mm.
You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. You got to eat this. You got to eat that. Back in them days, especially George Best. But I heard I don't know how true this is, but I heard a funny story about George Best. He was lying on a bed somewhere with Miss World,
yeah,
with Miss World in his bed, and a
Yeah.
big pile of money. And a
Yeah.
reporter was in the room, and he said, "George, where has your life gone so completely wrong?"
I tell you the true story. There's
Yeah.
actually you're basically true, Mark.
Yeah.
What happened was he came back from a night from a casino with Miss
Yeah.
World and he won a rake of money. And there was a porter who was from Belfast, the same part George Best was from. And he bought him up, and there's Miss World walking around in a next to nothing.
Yes.
And all the money spread on the floor. And the porter turned round to George Best. He said, "Mr. Best, where did it all go wrong?"
Exactly. There we
And
go.
you're thinking, what do you mean? Where did it all go wrong?
Yeah. Bloody hell. Yeah, but this was the lifestyle. This was the lifestyle in them days.
Do you feel that, Izhan, do you feel that you can look at Pele all you want? He lived a very diligent life. He dedicated himself to football, went to America, kicked it off over there in the 70s with the New York Cosmos after he retired from Santos. Left a celebratory lifestyle, paraded the World Cup around. Do you Do you feel that? Do you feel Pele was more looked after than Maradona, in a way?
I think with Maradona, there he a lot of his trainers and staff did try to get him help. He was put into rehab for I believe alcohol
Hmm.
addiction. He had and his trainers also helped him. Uh, he had to get a gastric bypass surgery. I think
Yeah.
one of his trainers or coaches, somebody
Yeah,
told
he
him
got
to
a band, didn't he, in his stomach?
Hmm.
He had one of them
yeah,
band things, didn't he?
yeah, because of his obesity,
Yeah,
helped him lose weight. Um, but with Maradona, like I said, it was even he said it himself that it was like his own fault that
yeah,
he did the things that he did. And yeah, with George Best as well, I think there's that famous photo of him on his like deathbed, I believe, with uh, alcohol
yeah,
poisoning, and he said that like I want I want the journalists to like publish this photo so people can see what alcohol can do to you.
yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty unfortunate, and to see him in such a sickly state like that. You know, he wasn't even that he wasn't that old, but
No,
he looked like he was 200 years old. It was pretty sad to see
yeah,
as well what substances can do to you.
It really is. I've really enjoyed this part of the show talking about Maradona and Pele. I think we've had a great laugh doing it.
yeah,
Ellie is coming back on. She said her battery
yeah.
is only 60%. She'll stay in the chat and she'll come on. We're only going to go for another 10-15 minutes anyway. We have got Steak in the background. I will bring him on, or I'll bring him on now. Only if he acts sensible,
Yeah,
Steak.
and we've got Queen Ellie back.
I'm
Big
back.
up, Ellie.
Oh
Premier,
yeah.
Premier
Yeah.
Hotspur. He said, "Big up," and please everyone get over to this young man's channel.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. And if you could somehow send me the link, I will put the link into the. If you put the link in the chat, I'll put the link at the end to everyone.
Yeah.
Drop it in the link so everyone go over there and subscribe to this great channel. And please subscribe and like here. We're trying to get to 500 before the start of the season, so let's get there. Ellie's now put a bottle in front of her face for some apparent reason.
yeah.
Right?
Sorry.
He said.
I'm
He said.
trying-
Anyway,
oh,
guys.
just hold it.
Anyway,
That's better.
guys, what
Take
are your
blood.
what are your thoughts on our transfer window so far? Are we all happy with it? Me personally, I think it's been a great window. I think it's been absolutely fantastic. We've got the players in that we wanted for the season. I think Paratici is a don, and he's working like a don.
Yes, he
Personally,
is.
Yeah.
he's him
He
and
is.
Conte together. Now, what I'm going to say is on this. Now, I don't mean to sound controversial. What I'm going to say is, but for the time being, Levy has sort of won me over because he said he needed to back the manager, and he has backed the manager.
Yes.
The players have been bought in, and that's the proof. Now, how we spent the money has been very wisely, I think myself. Mark, yes, Mark, go on.
Do you think though it's just because the manager we've got, because he knows if he doesn't get what he
Yeah.
wants, he'll walk out? If this
I-
was
What-
still,
What,
if this was Poch in
I-
charge still, would we have got all these signings? I can't
No.
see it.
I personally think because Conte's got clout, right,
Yes.
and he trusts him
Yeah.
because he's seen him do it at other clubs.
Yes.
You know, and
Same with
he's
Jose.
putting his faith in him. But he's still got to get 2 more players in my book.
At
He's
least.
still got at least 2, the right wing back and the centre
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Minimum.
You, Alex, what do you think, mate? How do you think the transfer window's gone?
We wait until the end. Like we don't know.
But are
We
you
want-
happy so far with the players we've brought in? Or are you happy how it's gone?
Yeah, I'm happy so far. I want to see right wing back, 2 centre backs, and a creative midfielder.
So
The creative
upset?
midfielder.
Are you upset that Ericsson has now gone to Man United? Because that's what I was going to get onto next. I'll start with you on this one, Alex. Would you have been happy to see Ericsson at Tottenham, or are you happy, it doesn't bother you that he's gone to Man United? What's done is done.
There's other options as well. You can get
Yeah.
Maddison as well, who's English and would fit the English quota.
I think Madison's a great young player.
Yeah.
I really do. I honestly quite like.
Quality.
Izhan, would you have gone for Madison, or are you happy? What's your views on Ericsson going to Man United?
With look, I really didn't want Ericsson as a first choice. I think he's he's up there in age, and I just think that there's better options
Yeah.
for us now. The player I want is Tielemans. I think we can get him if we're in for him. He's in his last year of his deal, so Leicester are willing to let him go for cheap. So I think Tielemans would be a really good addition. I'd also take Maddison, but he'd be quite pricey, especially with the English tax. But yeah, I think Tielemans is the player I'd like.
Yeah.
I think he's a real quality.
Can somebody please check the Irish Hotspur? Somebody's put something on there, and I don't want to bring it up, but I just want if somebody can have a quick look on the Irish Hotspur. Somebody's put something up about a player. So if you can, one of you can have a look at it and just let me know privately if we can talk about it or not, or if it's something you think we should talk about. But just something that's come up there now.
Player? Which player?
There isn't. It's
Rich
on-
Hollison.
No, it's somebody's put something about a player. 29-year-old Premier League international player. That's all I'm saying. If you can find it, then it might help you.
Oh, Fabian Ruiz?
No, basically
English.
what it is.
Oh, English.
It's
Oh,
Yeah, it's a 29-year-old international player from the Barnet area has been arrested on suspicion of doing what he's doing.
yeah. I saw
Yeah,
that.
I just seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, Paulo
Is that a
Keith says
worry?
he wants him the Spurs player.
Nobody's saying, they're just saying it's a 29-year-old Premier League international player. Does that worry you? If it could be, I mean, around that area, a lot of Tottenham players live around that area, sort of, and a lot of Arsenal players. And
Yeah, a lot of Arsenal
Do you know-
players do as well.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's more Arsenal, isn't it, Barnet?
It's
It's
going
the
to be a
same
Spurs or Arsenal player.
but it's
So
very
either-
worrying anyway. But yeah, that's something we need to keep an eye on. Catman Jess, big up Catman Jess. Thank you for joining us, and
Yay.
Simon as well. The
Love
reason I
Catman
say it is
Jess.
because some of this fan base ain't happy with it, and some of them are flip flops, in my opinion. What I will say is give Levy a massive credit, and I agree with that.
I agree.
I think
I agree.
I think Levy deserves massive credit. He's. I know Mark. Mark, look, I want to explain this now so I don't get called flip flop by some sections of our fan base. For me,
There's a flip.
For
There's
me-
a flip side to that as well.
Yeah,
there is, but
With
for me,
Levy.
okay, you've had 21 years of him doing nothing, right?
yeah,
We've now got a decent director of football in and a decent
Yes.
manager.
Yeah.
yes.
Maybe,
About time.
but maybe he can trust this director of football to do the right things, and I think he deserves credit for this summer. I mean, it's only one transfer window, yes. It's one that we need to continue. One or two players in, decent players every window,
Yes.
add to the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of. But he does.
we
deserve
don't have to
credit.
buy 5 or 6 players every window,
No,
do we?
but
We can add a couple.
Personally, as much as I probably get hate from some people for saying this, I think he does deserve credit for this summer window.
Right. Can I have
Yeah.
a say?
He's been
Right.
Yeah,
working
go on, Mark.
his
You're shaking
nuts
your head,
off.
and
Yeah.
you're sort of disagreeing. What's your
Well,
opinion? It's all about opinions.
Yes.
That's what makes football
Yeah.
Right.
talk as brilliant
In my
as it does.
opinion, the only reason that we've signed these 4 players so far, it looks like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or however many's coming in, is because of the manager. And he has told him, you either give me this or I'm off. And he knows full well if, say Conte walked out tomorrow, and then a week later he says it's because Mr. Levy wouldn't give me the players I wanted, they know the fans in that stadium would go mad. There would be a
but he
riot.
has got the players he's wanted, Mark.
Yes, at the moment. But this is what I'm saying. That's the only reason. Do you think we would have signed these 4 players, or 5 or 6, or however many we're getting, if Poch was still in charge? Because I don't. Because he fobbed him off for years.
Mark, we've had 21 years of rubbish.
This is
we
what I'm
haven't
saying.
won one cup.
This is what I'm
the
saying.
fans haven't rebelled. So what makes you think they're going to rebel this time?
Because
we have.
It might be slightly different.
Of course,
I
it will be.
don't think our fans are quite
no.
status quo.
Not now.
They're
Not
very.
now. You got to remember when Poch
There
came in.
might be a section of the crowd, but not all of them.
When Poch come in, he was Mr. Nobody. He was nothing, and then he took us to where we went.
Poch, to be fair, Mark, I'm sorry, Poch was a quite well-known person. He was an international captain for Argentina. He did very well at Southampton when he came in.
Well, he was Southampton.
And at Espanyol.
But to be prepared here,
he saved Espanyol from relegation miraculously.
Yeah.
When you pick a manager, you're taking a gamble. It's either going to work or it's not going to work.
Now, hang on a minute. This is what I'm saying. This is what I've been trying to say. You got to remember, we got one of the top managers now. Unless you go for Klopp or Pep, there's no one better than the one we got now.
Mourinho.
Well, hang on. Well, he was finished when he came. He's
more decorated than all of them.
Yeah, yes, Mourinho is a better manager than Conte. Is he not?
Let's see what time.
He's won more.
He's won more.
Yeah,
won more.
Yeah.
Jose's a dinosaur.
Yeah,
but Jose may be a dinosaur, but he went to Roma and won them a European trophy.
Yeah, but
the first time he won a European trophy.
If he's a dinosaur, I love dinosaurs.
Oh yeah.
If that's the case, if that's the case, Ellie, then you like Barney the dinosaur who lives at West Ham.
I think
you see
no, he can go to hell.
I think the reason why Levy and I guess Enoch, the board, have decided that we're going to spend big this summer and whatnot is because we've gone through so many managers at this point. It's given there's nowhere to run for Levy. You can't blame the manager again.
No.
It has to be the players. Every single manager with different play styles have come in. They can't get the results we've wanted. So Levy has no choice but to spend the money.
Yeah.
Izhan hits a very good point in the head. Pochettino, who got the player to sack? The players.
Yeah.
Mourinho. They basically, whatever happened, either something to do with the European Super League or some of the players got him the sack. Players not doing their business, not doing their jobs. Nuno, we can all agree Nuno was useless.
Nuno's one of the best.
You what?
No, he's one of the best.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that, Alex. But no, you've got to see. For me, you cannot pretend that for 21 years we haven't spent money wisely. We haven't.
No.
We haven't
More
spent
in
money
the last
wisely.
5, we haven't spent it wisely.
We haven't. We spent 63 million on Nombelli at Mr. Burger King. Who's turned out to be a complete flop. We had a scouting system was probably, as Coover told me months and months ago, which was one of the worst in the Premier League. Yeah. So you've got Paratici, who personally I think has done wonders. He's walked in there, he's ripped down the club, he built the proper foundations under the Bill Nick way, the spirit of the Bill Nick and Arthur Rowe, built a new Tottenham. He's got a decent now scouting system. We've got decent players in. You look at our transfer minister, Foster Fraser. He's a decent goalkeeper, free. We've got the player from Inter Milan on a free. We spent 35 million on the
Basuma.
Basuma's 25.
Okay, we've got 65 or 60 million for Richarlison, which I think is a bloody brilliant buy because
50
some of the
million.
crap he's going to get up to at Arsenal and Chelsea away from home is
Yeah.
going to be brilliant. Do you know we've got Longley in as well, the defender from Barcelona.
Is he signed?
I think he is
He
signed.
will
He's
be.
in London.
He will be. He
Yeah.
will be.
It will
Yeah.
be. So you look at that, and you've got to give Levy. We've got Jared Spence as well. There's another one that's coming in, or who I
That
thought
one's
had
a maybe. That one's a
Yeah.
maybe.
yeah, but I thought he had a brilliant season last year for Nottingham Forest in the Championship, and I
He
really did think he played well. And I watched a lot of Forest last season, and they were brilliant. For me, I think for once we need to give him credit. Now, there's
And
going to be
also-
fans out there that are going to say it's one transfer window. Yes, I agree with you that every transfer window we have to add a little bit and get players out. But doing transfers isn't as easy as it's not like playing FIFA or Championship Manager.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah.
So I think this has been so far a very successful window, and I'm very optimistic about next season. Very
Yeah.
positive about it.
Hmm.
And I think you have to give credit where credit lies.
Yeah.
Enoch have put the money where the mouth is.
Finally.
Between Conte and Paratici, they have spent it wisely. And we've still got more, we've still got another 70 million to spend because we've got that 50 million we can draw on, plus the 20 million we've got left over, or the 30 million we've got left over or the 40 million we've got left over from out of the 100 million that we spent on Richarlison, plus
Mhm.
player sales.
Mm.
Yeah.
So we could go in to get another right wing back, and a creative midfielder. I just think we need to, as a fan base, this season be united as one,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and just get behind the team because we can go places. And I think the chairman, for the first time in a long, long time, deserves a little bit of credit for what he's done. But Paratici, for me, is the Don. I think he's done brilliant.
Yes, he
And I
is.
know a lot of
He is
people
the
won't
Don.
agree with me on that. And that's your opinion, and I respect your opinion, and I think it's brilliant.
The
But for
most
my own
important-
opinion, it's that. We've got
Yeah.
Simon here as well. It says, Mark, I disagree because when we moved into our new stadium, COVID hit, and that hit every football club. But now we're out of it. Just watch how much money we will generate, and that's credit for him. And also, you got money coming in from the Champions League. We've already got
Yeah.
on as well.
Yeah. And there
We
was
can
Guns
spend-
N' Roses. And Guns
Yeah,
N'
we
Roses.
can
It was
spend
Friday.
up to we can spend up to 400 million. I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
on the FFP?
No. It's not 400 million in transfers. That includes wage expenditure
That's on
and
it.
everything. That's how much space we have, sort of. So it's not 400 million in transfer fees. It includes like wages and signing on fees and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have 400.
It's probably 300 million then we could spend.
Yeah, 300.
You know, without the wage,
million.
and then you had the wages
Well,
on and all.
As
Mhm.
as long as all the money that's coming in is invested back into the team, I think most
Yeah.
fans would be happy.
Yeah.
But if it's
Yeah.
not invested back into the team, like they notoriously let us down
Yeah.
throughout the 21 years,
Yeah.
then if a leopard changes its spots, he started to get one or two spots. Now he's got to put a few more on the leopard.
Yeah.
You know,
Do
I know
do
I'm
you
using a
think-
scenario, but we've got to start spending wisely.
Mhm.
Do you think the transfer window we have spent wisely, Ellie?
I think so, yes, because
Yeah.
we've got Perisic, who's a fantastic footballer.
Mm.
Nobody
Yeah.
can doubt that, and we got him on a free. We've got Bissouma, another giant. He's going to be even better for us than
He's
he
gonna
ever was for Brighton. Now, Brighton were a good footballing side, so he's coming from good pedigree anyway. It's just that they just couldn't score, and they're just a bit lower than
Oh,
the
yeah.
teams that are going to challenge. They just haven't got. They just can't score. But we've also got other players like Longley, right? He's a fantastic footballer. You know, we're getting really good ballers in. You know, and if we can get the right wing back situation filled up as well, we've got the backup striker. I don't like to say backup striker because because Richarlison will not be a backup. He'll be playing a lot of games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he can play across the three. So he's very versatile. So that's a fantastic buy as well. I don't care what other people say. It is a fantastic buy. And then if we can get that right wing back and the centre back, 2 centre backs, actually, because I don't trust Dyer still. I still don't think he's top notch. You know, Romero makes him look good as well. That's my opinion.
I think on that, Ellie,
You know,
I
but
think on
he's
your
had a
point,
good season. Don't get me wrong. But I
but
just don't
has
think
the
he's
transfer
top
window?
notcher.
So, are you happy with the transfer window so far?
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. If we get the right wing back and 2 centre backs, and maybe a creative midfielder, I don't know if he's going to fit. You know, then I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Well, you can't really rate it until the end of the season,
Yeah.
but so far I'm really happy with
Yeah,
it. Simon has put here very quickly. Thank you for all the chat you put in, everyone. It really means a lot. It says, guys, if I wanted to hear history of Levy, I would go back to school and take a history up. But we all should care about what's going on now at the club. That's why we have a fickle fan base.
Yes.
And I think, look, I'm prepared. Look, I'm big enough, and I'm big enough and old enough, been a Spurs fan for 40-something years, to say, look, I think Levy's done well this summer, and let's move on. I think we've got to put what's happened in the past, leave it in the past. We're under a new wave now. We've got to move forward this season
It's
as a
all
one
about the
fan
now.
base, and move on, and let's all together become. Let's win something. This I've seen too many things in the past over the last season of fickle fan base or flip flop fans, or just because you have one opinion, it's not accepted by another opinion, and everyone's entitled to their opinions. Nobody should not be entitled to their opinion. But we all support one club. We should always remember that we all support Tottenham Hotspur, and that's where we should all stick together. And look, we're going to end it up here.
Steak.
Yeah, and of course, don't forget to have your steak.
You've got to find out who this player is as well, who's been arrested.
Apparently, for what I'm seeing on the Irish Hotspur thing, it's an Arsenal player, apparently. But it's on the BBC.
29-year-old.
Yeah.
Bet it's Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, we're not
Granit
going to
Xhaka.
say,
Allegedly.
Yeah,
I don't
I've
know.
taken them off before we says anymore. Get us into trouble. You can't say that. No, apparently it's on the BBC, so it's on. But I was just, I thought it was.
We don't know.
I'll find out from my hubby. He'll know.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, I was going to say, whoever it is. You know.
Yeah.
You can't change it.
No, you can't. I just want to thank everyone who's jumped in tonight. I want to thank Izhan for doing his little stats work. Izhan, you've been brilliant. Izhan, what we got coming next for our next shows? We're doing a few player profiles, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do have a Longley player profile ready. So it's going to be a bit different. I'm going to go through, it's almost like a biography of his career. I want to give some context and whatnot, like where he started off. He moved to Sevilla and then to Barcelona. So at the start of his Barcelona career, he was actually very, very good. He was a starter for them. I want to see where it went a bit downhill and how he could potentially revive his career at Spurs and why Conte would want him. So yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting. I think it's pretty unique content. I'm doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, and then we're looking forward to that. And then we've got the new season coming up. Mark, Mark again. Thanks for everything you do. Oh, Mark, you forgot to give us the #1 hits for the World Cup years.
Crap, yeah.
So yeah,
this is something we like doing at the end. If we're talking about a year, me and Mark likes to give the biggest hits of them years. So, Mark, what was the biggest hit of 58 that you found?
No, this is the biggest selling in the UK.
Yeah.
Right. 1958.
Yeah.
Anyone has what a guess? I'll give you a clue. It was
Must
Elvis.
be Elvis Presley.
It was Elvis.
Elvis
Would it have
Presley,
been
Lovely Tender,
No,
Hound Dog?
Jailhouse Rock,
that's it. Ellie got it.
Jailhouse Rock?
Jailhouse Rock.
Jailhouse Rock.
Yeah, can I actually
Yes.
recommend the new Elvis film? It's bloody brilliant. I would advise anyone, if you're an
Go
Elvis
on.
fan, go and watch that. It's bloody brilliant.
Right.
Go on, 1962.
No.
The year I was born.
Yes, I'll see if you can get the singer. I remember you.
I remember you.
I didn't write this down
Yeesh.
properly.
I should
Perry
be-
something.
No, Frank Eiffel.
Never heard of him.
No.
Okay.
Izhan knows him. Izhan knows him. It's in
Izhan
Izhan's
knows
CD
them. Of course he
collection.
does.
Go on. 1960.
No.
He
97.
knows Ariana Grande.
Yeah,
1966.
No, you never told me to do that one. It was 1970.
All right,
The next
1970.
one. Yeah, what does that say?
I wonder
I think
review.
that's meant to say in the summertime.
In the summertime.
Yes.
In the summertime,
Yeah,
when
that's
the
the one.
weather is dry,
I
we
know, I
can
remember
lift
that
right up and touch the sky.
Mungo Jerry.
I
Apparently.
love
Mungo
that
Jerry.
song, Mungo Jerry. Yeah,
He was on.
Yeah.
He
brilliant
was on the
song.
Mongo Juice as well. At the
Izhan,
time
it's
he was
going
singing
over
that
his head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he ain't
yeah.
got a clue what's
But
going on.
anyway, they are the number one hits of the 3 World Cup years we were
No,
doing.
no, hang on a minute. I got 3 more.
Have you got one then?
1986. Don't
Yeah.
leave me this way.
86. Who?
Don't leave me this way.
Don't leave me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bronski Beat.
Simple Minds.
No. Communards.
Is it
Oh,
Bronski
the
Beat?
Communards, of course.
Communards, that's it. I knew it was one of them.
1990.
Don't leave me this way.
That's a good tune. Yes.
Yeah,
1990.
it's a very good tune.
Unchained Melody.
Robson and Jerome.
Ah,
on it.
No, it
that's a
wasn't.
song.
No, it wasn't. Righteous Brothers.
No,
It was the original.
Righteous Brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
they did
original.
that for the Ghost film, didn't they?
Yes.
For the soundtrack for Ghost.
Possibly.
Oh,
Yeah.
my love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
what a
one.
great
Yeah,
film
it
that
was,
is.
wasn't
Singing the songs here.
Right.
Have you
Yeah.
seen that film, Izan? Ghost?
Ghost.
With Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze? And
No, I don't think I have.
Whoopi Goldberg? Brilliant. You should
Ghost.
watch it.
It is a great film.
Yeah, what was that?
86. I think my favourite film in the 80s was Top Gun. I think Top Gun or
That was 86, wasn't it?
yeah, it was.
Yeah, it
Yeah, yeah, brilliant. Tom Cruise,
And the
isn't
last
it?
one we have, 1994. What the hell was that? Oh,
Right.
Love Is All Around.
Oh, don't
Oh,
tell me.
by
I know
Wet,
who
Wet,
sung
Wet.
this.
Yes.
Wet,
Wet,
wet, wet.
Yes.
Wet, wet, wet.
Yes,
Do you know what that was
I
the
know my
soundtrack to?
music.
Which film that was the soundtrack to?
Love is all around us.
Four Weddings and a Funeral.
What was it?
Haha.
Yeah, and Hugh Grant. That was one
I
of
like
Hugh
that
Grant's
film
first
as well.
films.
Yes. Yeah, it was one of his first films, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And who else starred with him in that?
Well, I'm rubbish at films.
What's
Ali
the name? No,
McDowell, is it?
no. Anyway, we'll find out we'll tell you in the next
Yeah.
time we're on. Aaron Dobbs put the
bushy-haired
Commodores
lady.
or Bozon or whatever that
Bronski
is.
Beat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bronski.
Communards.
It
Bronski
says
Beat,
Robson
yeah.
Jerome played Bourne in Game of Thrones. Of course he did. Of course he did. That's another
Yeah.
great program as well. And then he says a one-off. Well, listen, thanks, Aaron.
He was in
Thanks,
Casualty.
He was. I want to thank
Yeah.
everyone
I
who's messaging tonight, and please don't forget, get your memberships, please. It does help the channel. It's only
Yeah.
$4.99. You get a mug with it as well, which is part of the merchandise
Brilliant.
as well. We've got 4 Patreon members here: Izhan, Mark, and Ellie. You become a Patreon member, you come on to these types of shows, and we have your say. And thank you so much for everyone tuning
And Philip
in tonight.
Brady.
Thanks to Izhan, thanks to Mark, thanks to Ellie again, my normal co-host.
Our
Thanks
pleasure.
to Steak. I will let him back on if he behaves himself.
Yes.
You're going to
Steak.
behave yourself? Yeah.
There he is.
Oh,
He's
and,
back.
Alex, where can we find
Steak.
you, sir?
I don't have any channels or anything. I just go into other people's YouTube channels and say steak a lot of times.
Yes.
So you just come on, you're a Steak.
Yeah, steak cult.
Okay, well, listen, Thank you all so much for watching. We will be back again on Sunday or Monday, Izhan.
And also, I've got another thing to add with Paratici.
Yeah.
He's cooking steak.
Fair
Ah,
enough. He's
He is.
cooking steak. Good. Izhan, are we back Monday or Sunday or Monday, sir?
I'll see. I think Monday we're back. I think I could
Alright.
even do a show tomorrow, if you'd like.
Yeah, we might do a pre-record actually, and we might do a pre-record with the Izan's player profiles, and then we're back next Sunday or Monday with
Yeah.
another debate on, I don't know, we'll think of something, but it'll be Tottenham related anyway.
yeah.
But thank you for everyone who's come in, and whatever you do, look after yourselves. God bless you.
Yeah.
And also
Come on, you
steak.
Spurs. Yeah. Come on, you Spurs.
Yes.
Steak.